Welcome to October's Leetcode challenge. Today's problem is asteroid collision. You are given an array asteroids of integers representing asteroids in a row. For each asteroid, the absolute value represents its size and the sign represents its direction. Positive means the asteroid's going right and negative means the asteroid's going left. Each asteroid moves at the same speed. Find out the state of the asteroids after all collisions. If two asteroids meet, then the smaller one will explode. If both are the same size, then both will explode. And two asteroids moving in the same direction will never meet. So if we had this example here, asteroids 5, 10, negative 5, we can see these two will be moving to the right. Negative 5 here is moving to the left. So this is going to collide with 10. 10 is bigger than 5, so that'll explode negative 5, thereby leaving just 10. And in the end, our asteroids will look like this, 5, 10, moving to the right. Here we have 8, negative 8. These explode each other and we'll be left with nothing. From here, since these are moving to the left and the next ones are moving to the right, they're just moving in the opposite direction, so they'll never meet. So we should immediately recognize this to be a stack problem or a stack solution. And what I mean by that is, say that we were given this example here. What we could do is move through our list of asteroids and add them to a stack in order. So we can add 5 and we can add 10. As long as they're in the same direction, we can continue to add them. But once we find a condition where we have one going to collide, negative 5, we need to decide, do we need to pop off the asteroid that's already on the stack? Or do we destroy the asteroid that we're going to add and just not add it to the stack? So here we can see, well, 10 is bigger than 5, so we're just not going to add negative 5. And then we just continue our loop. Okay, so the first thing we should recognize is that if these are negative, say that we're adding like negative 1, we're never going to pop these off, right? Because whether it's negative or positive coming in, like they're not going to touch. Say this, we have some positive ones coming in. Well, how are they going to collide with these which are going left? These are going right, right? And if we had negative 1s going like this, these are all going left, so they'll never collide there. So that's one thing to keep note. If what we add onto our stack is negative, then it's just never going to apply here. All right, so here's what we'll do. Let's start by saying if not asteroids, we will just return an empty list. Did I spell that right? Okay, did. So what we'll first do is build our stack. And I think I'll call it output. It's going to be an empty list. And the very first thing we're going to do is append to our stack the very first asteroid. Now we're going to go in a loop and let's say for A in asteroids, but start with the second one. We are going to, well, we have to figure out, do we need to pop off the ones that we've already added to our stack? Or could we move on to see what condition needs to be met to decide whether we add it to our stack or pop off both of them if they're both going to explode. So I think what we'll do is have a while loop here and decide, should we pop off? Should we pop off anything here? And after that, we're going to meet some conditions. Condition to either append or not, or we might need to explode both. Okay? All right, so while there is an output and the last item in the output is, what's the condition that needs to be met if we need to decide pop off our stack? Well, the last one needs to be positive, right? As we explained before. And this asteroid needs to be negative, moving to the left. So that's the only time where we need to decide if we need to pop off some items on our stack. So what we can do here is say, okay, if all this is true and the absolute value of our asteroid is greater than since we know this one is already positive, if it's greater than the last item on our output, then we'll pop off our stack. And we'll do this however long it takes to pop off all the asteroids that are moving right and that are smaller than the asteroid that's moving left right now. Okay, so now we need to decide, should we add this candidate asteroid? So the first thing is, well, if there's no output left, yeah, definitely add it, because there's nothing to pop off here. Okay, otherwise, what do we need to check here? Okay, well, I guess what we can check is to see if we might not have met this condition, but say that they're going to collide and they're both the same size. So how would that work? If output -1, if it's greater than 0, and A is less than 0, and these values are equal to one another, or at least the absolute value of A is equal to one another, then not only are we not going to add our candidate asteroid, we are going to pop off the one right here because they both explode. Now we need to decide, should we add our this candidate asteroid? Should we add it? Or have we met this condition where this asteroid that we're trying to add should have actually been popped or should have been destroyed? So to meet that condition, what would it take? Well, first, well, I guess the absolute value of the output -1 is this right? Because we know now that this value is negative. Okay, well, okay. So the first thing is, if this guy is negative, then we definitely add it, right? Or if the candidate is positive, then we also definitely add it. Or we have to meet this condition. If the last item, if it's less than our absolute A, then we need to also add it. God, I hope I got that right. And finally, we should return the output. So let me test this. I may have missed something here. This should be 510. Okay. Okay, so I think that worked. Okay, there we go. That's accepted. So I kind of lost it there. I wasn't explaining very well. But basically, this condition here is checking to make sure that either the last item on our stack is negative, or since we've already passed this condition and we've popped off everything that would have been destroyed, we got to make sure that this asteroid here is positive in order to add it, or the size of the last asteroid here, which was positive, but it's not smaller, or I'm sorry, it is smaller than the asteroid that we're about to add. So that means, oh, okay, I get it. So this means that it's making sure that we didn't need to destroy our candidate asteroid, because otherwise we should have destroyed it, and we're not going to append it here. All right, so is this the best solution? Probably not. It is O of n, but it is kind of confusing with these conditions here. But it worked for me, so I think I'm going to just go with it. All right, so thanks for watching my channel, and remember, do not trust me. I know nothing.